Now, 1 in 6 couples in Ireland are having difficulty conceiving. There are many factors that affect fertility, and our next guests believe that emotions have a key role to play.
Can positive thinking get you pregnant? Joining us are hypnotist and psychotherapist Aisling Killoran, and nutritional therapist and presenter of How Healthy Are You, Elsa Jones. And that was a bit of a mouthful for me to say. A very good morning to you, ladies. Good morning. Thank you for coming on. Aisling, we'll start with you. Negative thoughts. You believe that if you have negative thoughts, it can affect your chances of getting pregnant.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's really important to have as fertile a mind as fertile a body, and to really believe in your ability to be able to conceive. And when one starts off conceiving, they have, you know, all the best intentions in the world. They do absolutely everything perfectly. But then as the months unfold and they're not being successful, doubt starts to pop into their mind. And then as time goes on, they start to get stressed. So between having a combination of negative thinking along with stress, it actually can just reduce down quite considerably your ability to conceive.
Okay. And stress, you were saying, releases, what is it, cortisol?
Yeah, it releases cortisol. Cortisol, it basically reduces down, it prevents the fertilised egg from implanting in the uterus.
Yeah. So how do you change people's way of thinking? Because I would imagine by the time they come to see you, Aisling, they've been down the medical route. So, you know, in some cases, there are maybe 5 or 6 treatments down the road before they consider coming to see you for emotional help. So what do you do for them?
Well, when those that have, when they come to me, it's to de-stress, because they're at a state where they are so stressed that, and they actually, at one level, even though they believe that they will conceive, you know, there's a bigger part of them that believes that if I haven't conceived by now, the chances are I won't conceive. But they keep going because they become obsessed about I have to get pregnant, which has its advantages because they keep going. But you also want to be able to reduce down the levels of stress and just go with the flow and believing that you can conceive.
So how do you change their thinking?
I use a combination of hypnotherapy, hypnosis, which is used to relax your mindset and to give you positive beliefs and believing that you can conceive, along with using other techniques called CBT, which is cognitive behavioural therapy, which again addresses the thoughts that keep popping into the mind, and to be able to delete those thoughts and to replace them with positive thoughts. And I also use NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. So all these techniques are designed to address the subconscious mind and to just increase your belief in your ability to conceive.
Is there anything that you can do yourself at home to kind of stop the negative thoughts evolving and getting worse?
I think, you know, to have maybe a couple of positive affirmations. You know, like for every time they see somebody else pregnant, it's like, you know, I'm next. You know, you know, it's my time next. I mean, the time for me to conceive is now. Is to just keep believing that they will conceive. Because
you have people in a situation before they come to see you who may be avoiding situations where social situations like christenings, dinner parties where the conversation might come around to children. So you're trying to change their thought processes. Can I just, is it expensive?
Well, normally for somebody, if they come along to myself, you're talking between 3 and 5 sessions. So it's about €500, and it's a small investment to get you into a positive mindset. You know, so I do believe it's well worth it. I think a lot of people leave out the emotional aspects of conceiving till the last minute, or until somebody says, you know, we're walking on eggshells around you, I really feel you need to go and get some help. And that's when they would pick up the phone and come to me.
Yeah, because Elsa, I would think if I know people who can't get pregnant and they're overweight, they might smoke, they might drink too much. I would always think diet, nutrition, before I would think the emotions. And of course you deal with people's diet and their nutrition, and they come to you. And what do you normally recommend for people? I mean, I know it's not one size fits all, but what are the general guidelines out there for somebody who's trying to get pregnant and when it comes to their diet?
Well, I think the first and most important thing to say is that the guidelines apply to both women and men. A lot of men tend to think that this just applies to the wife. Do you know what I mean? Now, she needs to make the change and she needs to give up alcohol and coffee and whatnot. But really, it's equally as important what the male does. I mean, in the last 10 years, sperm counts have dropped by, 50%, you know? So the male needs to address it as well. So oftentimes I would have women coming to me and I would say, bring your husband, bring your partner. And like Aisling, I believe that the more the body is in balance, physically, emotionally and nutritionally, the more of a chance you have of success. So from a nutritional therapy point of view, generally people would come before they would be considering going down the medical intervention route. So people who are considering getting pregnant or perhaps have been trying maybe for 6 months to a year and are starting to struggle. So I'd be looking at various vitamin and mineral deficiencies. So, for example, things like zinc, which is one of the most widely studied minerals in relation to it has a massive effect on sperm count and on hormone balance. So, you know, addressing any kind of mineral deficiencies, or things like iron, for example. Like 1 in 3 Irish women are deficient in iron, and having a lack of iron can actually prevent you from ovulating. So there are some really important nutritional aspects that need to be addressed before people start to panic or even consider going down a medical route.
What's the thing about plastics, which I only heard of today for the first time, but it sounds incredibly interesting and at the same time logical?
Yeah, it's really based on the fact that there are certain chemicals out there that can act as hormone disruptors. So they can basically mimic natural hormones in your body, like estrogen, and actually cause hormone imbalances. So we live in a society now where we tend to use a lot of plastic in our diet. We don't even realise it. We're using and reusing plastic bottles. We're nuking things in the microwave that are made of plastic. We're storing things in plastic containers. So for anyone who's looking at boosting their fertility, one of the first things I would say to them is get plastic out of your diet. So start using bottled water, you know, storing things in Pyrex dishes. Forget about heating things up.
Takeaway meals are gone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because the plastic kind of seeps into the...
Some of the chemicals can actually seep into the food, which can actually disrupt your hormone level. So it's those types of things that would...
Look at fatty foods, but good fatty foods.
Good fats, yeah. A lot of the time, women, if they're on... Because see, one of the points of advice that you get when you want to get pregnant is to lose weight. And then what a lot of women do then is go on a low-fat diet. But that is not the way to go, because your body needs good fat in order to nourish your reproductive system. So, for example, when people talk about eliminating fats, they are talking about the bad fats, not the good fats, which are the essential fats. And they're called essential for a reason. Our bodies need them to make hormones, to reproduce. So what I would say to a woman in particular is don't cut fat out of your diet, but just get the good fats in. So oily fish, avocados, nuts, seeds, all the things that will nourish your reproductive system.
Well, you're quite familiar to our viewers because of How Healthy Are You? There's a new series coming up and you're looking for people.
We are. We're looking for people with all sorts of health issues, but particularly today, we're looking for couples who are perhaps having difficulty conceiving, who would like some help and support. And what we're going to do is, on the series, we're going to take a couple on a journey and we're going to introduce them to a variety of innovative health experts who are going to help them. So they're going to get a lot of treatment and advice for free. So it's a great opportunity. And if anyone's interested, I would encourage them, just come forward, even have a chat with us, and we'll take it from there.
They'll be filmed, of course, as for part of the series. They'll be talking to all experts. Aisling will be talking to yourself as well. Right. Yeah. And you want them now, and are you going to film them then over, if they get pregnant, are you going to film them then over the pregnancy, or how will that work? Or is it just for while they're trying to get pregnant?
It's really while they're trying to conceive. I suppose an important point to yes, they will appear on camera, but a lot of the consultations that they have with a variety of experts will be done off camera. So they're going to, and they also won't be forced to divulge a lot of information on camera. So if that was holding somebody back, I would say don't let that hold you back and come and have a chat with us, because it's a good opportunity.
Great, it is. Great opportunity. If anybody watching is interested, get in contact and we will pass over the details. Aisling and Elsa, many thanks for coming on this morning.
Okay. After the break, our web watcher will be taking us through some of the strangest videos on the internet. We'll see you for that in just a few minutes.